Welcome back from that break, and we do apologize for the technical glitch that happened before the break. But now let's continue, and we go to Kisoro, where police in Kisoro have arrested 5 suspects for allegedly strangling a Nyiramujisha Joy Nwari to death last month. Nyiramujisha Joy Nwari, 63, a retired primary school teacher, was killed on June 26th, and her body was discovered on June 27th in the kitchen of her home in Kamonyi Hill Village, Northern Division, Kisoro Municipality.
According to IP Alinetwe Boaz, the community liaison officer for Kisoro district, 5 suspects have been apprehended and arrested. These include 2 female Rwandan bar attendants in Kisoro municipality and 3 Ugandan males. The suspects are Peter Ndagijimana, 20, a resident of Karumena, Sel Isaac Nkurikiyimana, 27, a butcher, Angela Utuze, 22, a Rwandan bar attendant in Kekubo, Karumena ward. Angela Mohawenimana, 20, a Rwandan bar attendant. William Nzamoye, 28, a boda rider who was transporting the suspects.
Hakizimana Richard, male adult, resident of Kamonyi, and this one is believed to be a child from home. That late Joy was a good parent to Hakizimana Richard. So far, those are the people arrested. More are still on the run, but the promise is that police doing what is supposed to do on investigations.
The suspects confessed to the crime, revealing that their motive was to steal 16 million Ugandan shillings, which the victim had raised through a land sale. The suspects led police detectives to the deceased's home and narrated how they infiltrated and killed her.
Very sad indeed there. Now to Mukono, where residents of Mpunge sub-county in Mukono district are in shock after government allocated more than 600 acres of their land to internationally acclaimed musician Akon to build a city. Now this was addressed during a meeting called by local leaders who expressed concern over a letter from the Uganda Land Commission alerting them that their land would be surveyed on July 11th, 2024.
Residents from 8 villages in Mpunge sub-county, Mukono district are in shock after the government donated 600 acres of their land to musician Akon for city construction. According to a letter from the Uganda Land Commission, villages including Bulebi, Sango, Mbazi, Chazi, Lulangwe, Muvo, Chiziru, Kamwanyi and others in Mpunge sub-county will be surveyed on July 11, 2024. This prompted the residents, led by their local leaders, to hold a village-level meeting to discuss how to handle the situation.
Nenze benda byekwe basengudde yebulebi era baddukeyo ne bakomeyo ne bakoma ne bakola ki ne bakomawo ku mwalo nga
mmeko kunganya emikono gyaffe okuyimiriza ensonga eyo nga tennagenda mu maaso.
During the meeting, residents called on the president to intervene, expressing their concern that they have nowhere else to go.
Abaana tubazaalidde abaana bazadde bannaabwe tuli mu bazzukulu kati ndagewa
bayimirizanga 11 ne tuwandiika ku district bitambule basooke bayimirize ensonga zaabwe.
Hajat Fatuma Ndisaba Nabitaka, the Presidential Commissioner for Mukono District, confirmed that the President gave the land to ACON and that it had already been monitored by the Minister.
Bajje balabe nti ddala abantu gye tuli mu mbeera eyo ate obuzibu obuliwo ebintu ng'ebyo bwe bigwa abantu balema okulowooza ebirala abo bannaffe ababasatu abo balabika be baatutunze ne gwe waguzizza tomumanyi naye bakikusuulako n'otandika okuba mu bunkenke naye nga naawe tolina kintu kye wamanyaako.
Police have engaged in running battles with residents of Nakuwa de Bira in Wakiso district while attempting to retrieve a body of a man named Magambo who passed away last evening. Now, residents allege that Magambo met his death after NEMA marked his house for demolition as part of their wetland restoration exercise. They set up a fire to mourn his passing.
In April, NEMA launched a restoration campaign to reclaim and save wetlands, resulting in evictions and demolitions. Nakuade village in Ibira Wakiso district was earmarked for restoration and evictions. Here is a video view of some of these structures. After NEMA marked the structures set for demolition, Magambo died on the spot last evening, and the residents believe his death is connected to the markings on his house. On Wednesday morning, the agitated residents lit a fire to mourn Magambo's death and verbally attacked NEMA.
Nabaddeyo mu kasooli gye njokera nga bankubira essimu jangu olabe ennyumba yo bagitwala.
Tugenza okwekanga tugenda kulaba bajja X bateeka ku nyumba biki batwetoolodde batwebulunguludde kaaka tuddukirewo era tulagewa.
Tunakola tutya abaana abo tunaabateekawa.
Within half an hour, 4 police officers arrived to take the body to the mortuary, creating controversy and tension. Despite the morning downpour, the protests continued, with the residents clashing with the officers. The situation escalated, prompting intervention from backup led by Uganda OC David Twinomujuni to calm the situation. Nakwade Councillor Saras Kasato alleges that they are being pushed off their land by businessmen using NEMA as a cover. However, the senior public relations officer of NEMA, William Lubura, responded in defense.
Wano wenyini wetuyimiridde ayagala okugula wano ali omu ku abo abali mu byuma ebyo ebyakasooli era yabawadde ssente bajje bamenya amayumba g'abantu bano yasobola okuzimbawo factories ze.
I know we are doing what is right because it's our technical teams that are doing this, and if they feel aggrieved by NEMA's decision, either let them write to us and they seek formal engagement, or they can seek court assistance from court.
The police spokesman for Kampala Metropolitan, Patrick Onyang, provided details about the sudden death.
The police at Nansana are investigating a case of sudden death which happened at Ganda. According to our scenes of crime officers, the deceased could have died 2 or 3 days ago because according to them, their observation, they saw there were signs of marks that show that rats had eaten some parts of the deceased, which is an indication that the deceased had spent 1 or 2 days in that place.
I'm Ivan Juko and Viola Nakasaga for UBC.
We'll now take yet another short break and return with the latest in business.
Hey, business people of Uganda, the Uganda National Lottery is here for you. It's the perfect opportunity to boost your business. Zimba your business by becoming an authorized Uganda National Lottery agent. By paying a security deposit of just 250,000 shillings, you will receive your very own Uganda National Lottery terminal, expert training from the pros themselves, and marketing materials to skyrocket your sales. And with a generous 5% commission on every ticket sold, the potential for earnings is limitless. Don't miss out. Act now and call us toll-free at 0800 33 44 33 to see if you qualify. Join us today and Zimba your business. Ituba Uganda is regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan. Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts, in our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to invest in agribusiness, manufacturing, tourism, infrastructure, health, and education to improve the quality of life of Ugandans. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank.
We can do better.
Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
Coming soon on UBC.
Welcome to Inside Broadcasting,
sharing with you the process behind what you see on the screens.
My name is Lorraine Masika Kazimoto.
Step behind the scenes and witness the magic that brings your daily broadcasts to life.
That's why I come out openly to actually tell you that I'm an investigative journalist, that even when you see me here, I'm actually investigating you guys. So you should be aware about that.
Experience the hustle, the heart, and the human stories of our on and off-air staff.
I see my phone ringing and I'm like, ooh, which number is this? I hear the president on the other line.
The president of the Republic of Uganda.
Of Uganda, yes.
Be inspired, amazed, and part of the journey that powers Uganda's most captivating TV and radio moments.
Because good broadcast comes down to an individual. They should be artistic.
This is Inside Broadcasting.
Inside Broadcasting.
Inside Broadcasting with Mark Wadula.
Coming soon on UBC.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. Our government is encouraging the public to embrace electric motor vehicles and motorcycles in order to curb greenhouse gas emissions. The installation of an electric motor vehicle charging station in the Central Business District by the Ministry of Energy aims to showcase and expose motorists to the new transport technologies. Justin Nakami has the detailed story.
Uganda is experiencing rapid urbanization with increasing industrial activity, transportation needs and energy demand, all of which contribute to rising air pollution if not regulated. In response, the government, in collaboration with the private sector, is promoting e-mobility in the transportation sector.
We are entering partnerships. So we are partnering with the private sector to ensure that they invest in electric mobility. So what the ministry is doing is, one, ensure there is a strategy to support the electric mobility agenda.
This one-of-a-kind electric motor vehicles charging station at Amber House falls under government's e-mobility and energy transition agenda, whose main aim is to reduce the carbon footprint.
We set up some charging stations for border borders along the Masaka Highway, but also along the Gulu Highway, to demonstrate and create and incentivize the population to adopt these e-mobility solutions. We are working with Bordervac, which is now Gogo, and others like Zembo and the rest, to ensure that we offer these solutions in the market, private sector led, with the government supporting on the policy side.
Earlier this year, the Kampala Capital City Authority collaborated with the private sector to establish a border charging center at their offices in Rubaga, with additional stations installed across the city by Zembo companies.
Some people who have been NGOs which have been working together with us, like Zembo, that started out on battery swapping. We have a plant, for example, at Rubaga Division.
These charging stations are crucial investment in low-carbon energy systems, reflecting KCCA's commitment to reducing carbon emissions and promoting green transportation solutions.
The Ministry of Health has frightening figures of our pollution, what we inhale, so we have to look for ways of reducing on that pollution and those diseases that come as a result of using fossil fuels.
Ngola Alan, a worker at one of the stations, explains the process of swapping the motorcycle batteries.
They operate on batteries, they don't run on fuel. So you swap, the swapping basically takes less than 2 minutes. Then you continue, there's no need for you to wait for a battery to fully charge. It's just a matter of coming, swap, then you continue with your journey.
Maweje Frank, the chairman of the Boda Boda community, speaks positive about the e-Boda Boda initiative.
Where you've been spending 20,000 for fuel, with an electric bike you're only going to spend 7,000. I therefore encourage the Boda Boda riders to embrace this new technology.
At one of the stations, we observed some of the Boda Boda riders being redirected to other branches to swap their batteries, raising questions about the system's sustainability.
We shall remain intentional on making sure that the public can access these places, but at the moment there are few. There's one which was also set up on Salama Road recently.
The government is committed to expanding these electric charging points and encouraging the adoption of eco-friendly energy solutions in order to enhance energy security, improve air quality and reduce greenhouse emissions, among others. Justin Nakami, Faith Kayen, in Kampala.
Hi, my name is Rachel Ndubuchiri and I am a Ugandan actress and the winner of the Africa Monologue Challenge 2023. Now, thanks to your immense support, the Africa Monologue Challenge Season 2 is coming to Uganda between July 25th and August 20th. Africa Monologue Challenge is looking for passionate Ugandan storytellers to take part in a Pan-African short film that will showcase Uganda to the rest of the world. To be a part of this, all you have to do is weave a captivating narrative that captures Uganda's cultural heritage while fostering connections between 10 diverse individuals from 10 African countries. This short film will be shared to over 50 film festivals. Now, to find information on the AMC 2024 finalists, visit www.africamonologue.com. africammonologue@gmail.com. Please submit your short script, which should be 10 pages for a short film between 10 to 15 minutes, to africammonologue@gmail.com before 30th June 2024. Now, let's talk about rewards. The selected script will have the writer's full name in the end credits. You will get a chance to collaborate with amazing filmmakers from all over the world. You will get a small token for your creativity, and you remain with full ownership of your script. Let's work together to create a Pan-African film that will echo African stories throughout the world.
Welcome back. Let's have a look at sports news now. And over the next 9 days, Teso College Aloet will host the Bowl Games 2 competition. It is expected to be a feisty affair as teams seek Federation of East African Secondary Schools Association Games qualification. Take a watch.
Athletes from the 19 zones have conveyed at Teso College Aloet in Soroti to contest the Uganda Senior Secondary Schools Association's Bowl Games 2. The Bowl Games include sports disciplines of netball, handball, volleyball, rugby sevens, basketball 3x3 and athletics. In some of the games played today, Gombe SS defeated Kawanda SS 15-19 and Intari School beat Kakungulu Memorial 14-11 in handball boys. In the girls, Kawanda SS beat Imbogo Mixed 22-7 as Imbogo beat Wampewontake SS 19-12.
Here for Rasa Games, Ball Games 2. It's my team. We have just played the first game. It was amazing. Yeah, I'm happy to be here with my team.
Game for us, we came here with one goal. That's the final. They are a better team. They have been there. They were the champions last year, so we knew what we were facing.
The challenge we faced for the games. Okay, like first half we are leading, and when we came from second half, we had a challenge of rain. When we came, the boys couldn't handle the balls very well, and the place was so slippery.
On our side, it is actually a great game, and I'm very proud of the girls because actually they have met our expectations. Being it's the first game and always determine a lot.
The games are a qualifier to the Federation of East Africa Secondary School Association Games that Uganda hosts in August at Ukedea Comprehensive and Amos College. Teso College School Aloyeta is the main host but will be supplemented by Soroti University, Arapai Soroti Campus and Soroti Sports Grounds. St. Mary's Chitende are the netball defending champions, while St. Elizabeth and Standard High Zona are volleyball girls and boys holders. Kawanda and Kakunglu Memorial are handball girls and boys defending champions, with Chitende and Budo SS the girls and boys basketball 3x3 holders.
Rugby now, and Nambole Stadium is steadily preparing to host the Africa Rugby Championship set to begin on the 17th of this month. Uganda will host 7 other countries in a tense and competitive tournament. We have more in this story.
The Rugby Cranes have resumed training after returning from South Africa, where they underwent a rigorous training camp. The team aims to capitalize on their preparation and win the tournament. Timothy Mudula, the team's strength and conditioning coach, expressed confidence in the team's readiness following a series of high-intensity trial games in South Africa. He acknowledged that while the team needs to address a few areas of improvement identified during their training, the experience was invaluable. The South African trial games were intense and tested the Rugby Cranes' limits, imparting crucial lessons. The Rugby Africa Cup is set to commence on July 18th, and Mudula emphasized the importance of refining their strategies and skills based on the insights gained during their time in South Africa. Meanwhile, the government is finalizing preparations for Nambole Stadium to ensure the pitch is ready to host the games by the 18th of July.
Marshall Miro reporting there, and that story brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company on sign language. It has been Senyomo Yusuf, and I'm Rukidi Kiijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
In a near 4 decades journey, the National Resistance Movement Party has been leading Uganda's transformation across spectrum. This week, we take stock of the remarkable achievements of NRM in shaping Uganda's destiny. NRM's commitment to human rights and political stability has fostered an environment where civil liberties are respected and every voice matters in shaping Uganda's future. Uganda's economic recovery has been remarkable given the political stability and prevailing security stand. Through strategic policies and investments, such as Emyoga, Bonabagagawale, and the Parish Development Model, Uganda has achieved sustained GDP growth, attracting foreign investment and fostering a conducive environment for business. With initiatives like universal primary education and healthcare reforms, millions of Ugandans have gained access to essential services previously out of reach. Additionally, the NRM's dedication to upholding human rights and ensuring political stability has laid the foundation for a thriving democracy and national unity. As we look back on 38 years of progress under the National Resistance Movement, it's clear that Uganda's journey is just beginning. Let's count and celebrate our achievements. Let's reflect and address our challenges. Let's commit and strive for a brighter future together. All these on your favorite weekly program, Behind the Headlines, this Wednesday.
All on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Faith, love, miracles! Did you miss the recent Sifan Crusades? Don't worry! Christ for All Nations bring you 7 crusades closer to you! Powerful divine deliverance from bondages, yokes and curses! Salvation of souls, family restorations and miraculous healings! Don't miss Kampala Nubanga District, Tororo, Pabo, Kaliro, Masindi, Soroti and Bidibidi Refugee Camp Crusades from June 24th to July 15th, 2024! Come and receive your miracle!
Predict the outcome of 10 football games and win big with tickets at only 500 shillings. Play for this Friday's draw to stand a chance to win big with Sports Stake 10.
Buy your tickets at authorized shops on nationallottery.go.ug to download the app or simply dial *278#.
Ugandan National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow of a subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Hi, my name is Rachel Nduhuchiri and I am a Ugandan actress and the winner of the Africa Monologue Challenge 2023. Now, thanks to your immense support, the Africa Monologue Challenge Season 2 is coming to Uganda between July 25th and August 20th. Africa Monologue Challenge is looking for passionate Ugandan storytellers to take part in a Pan-African short film that will showcase Uganda to the rest of the world. To be a part of this, all you have to do is weave a captivating narrative that captures Uganda's cultural heritage while fostering connections between 10 diverse individuals from 10 African countries. This short film will be shared to over 50 film festivals. Now, to find information on the AMC 2024 finalists, visit www.africamonologue.com. Please submit your short script, which should be 10 pages for a short film between 10 to 15 minutes, to africamonologue@gmail.com before 30th June 2024. Now, let's talk about rewards. The selected script will have the writer's full name in the end credits, You will get a chance to collaborate with amazing filmmakers from all over the world. You will get a small token for your creativity, and you remain with full ownership of your script. Let's work together to create a Pan-African film that will echo African stories throughout the world.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Super Soul Sisters. My name is Jamila Oluka and you're watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. In this particular show, we are bringing someone who is into tourism, someone who is into culture, someone who is encouraging Ugandans to embrace their beauty and also their culture. She's one and only Ruth Michelle Bisoboka, who participated in Miss Tourism Buganda Kingdom. I would like to give credit to Footsteps Furniture for giving us such a beautiful place. I know that you can see how beautiful the furniture is, how all these things can make your home a beautiful home, how you can come here. It is just opposite Bank of Africa along Ginger Road, and there's ample parking. They will give you a variety of stuff. You just need to visit the showroom and get everything you want, as in the way you see the lights, the dining tables, everything that you need in your home. It is here on Footsteps Furniture at Ginger Road. You are most welcome to our show.
Thank you so much.
We are very glad to have a queen in our show. You know, this is something that happens once in a while. I know that this year you are the Miss Tourism, one of the queens who participated, and you will tell us how it was, your experience, all those things. But before we dive there, kindly tell us who you are, which family you're from, and which primary schools you went to.
Thank you so much, Madam Jamila, for this opportunity. Thank you, our dear listeners and viewers. I'm Bisoboka Ruth Michelle. I'm a Uganda lady from Bugerere County, and by the grace of God, I'm Miss Tourism Bugerere County, and one of the top 3 queens in Buganda.
Wow, so you are one of the top 3 queens.
Yes, I'm one of the top 3
How does it
queens.
feel to be a queen?
It feels amazing. It's something that helps nurture that thing that you always feel as a little girl.
So tell us, who is this beautiful queen who are all the way from Bugerere? Who are your parents? Because, you know, for us to see you this looking beautiful and also emerging one of the 3 top beauty queens in Buganda, it means there is a beautiful family. Their parents must be this kind of parents who nurtured you very well and also gave you this, because beauty comes with character. So tell us, who are your parents, and then which schools did you go to?
They always say ladies come first. I'm going to begin with my mother. My mom is called Nakazi Christine Luwede. She is also a Muganda lady, hailing from Chagwe, and she's also staying with us now in Bugerere. My dad is known by most people as VJMK, Spark TV. Most people listen to him, the ones who view Spark TV. And by the grace of God, he's also the town council mayor of our town.
Wow.
So that's my dad, and those are my parents.
So now that you come from, I see the family of the politician, you know, I would like to know, how was Michelle when she was a child? How was it like growing up in Bugerere as a child?
Growing up as a child, I want to thank God that I grew up in a very loving family. My dad used to dote on me a lot. I thank God for that. And also my mom is a very, very kind woman and a very, very loving mother. So they nurtured us in a way, because in a way, like, regardless of the environment, of course, someone may hear Bugere and they think it's a village. I don't view it as that. They brought us in a place that felt like home and family. So I just consider that we grew up in a beautiful space with a lot of love, and a lot of love not just from my immediate family, my parents, but also from the people around us, our neighbors and everyone. So it's a very beautiful place and very welcoming people around.
So were you this stubborn girl who used to play around, calling neighbors? What? Tell us, what is one thing that you remember as a child when you were maybe in nursery or before you started primary? What is that that thing that you remember as a child that you're like, oh my God, when I get children, I don't want my children to do this?
I think the interesting thing about me, okay, the one bad thing that I had as a child, I was a sickly child. So I don't want to get a sickly child because I disturbed my parents from the time I was crawling to 6 years, like always in and out of hospital. So I wouldn't love to have a child who is as sickly as that. But then the other interesting character I had as a child, I was very talkative and I talked at a very early age. So that's the thing that always used to make me stand out. I wasn't very stubborn, but I used to talk a lot.
Lugambo.
I used to just make people happy and my parents, because people would be shocked by the words that would come out of a child that age. Yes. Even when I was in hospital, I recall the doctors reached a point where they didn't want me to go because I was too talkative.
So you are this child who say, doctor, my hand is paining, even my leg, even my hair.
I was very talkative and I used to make them my friends. So by the time I left hospitals, my mom was famous because she was my mother, mother of the talkative sick child.
Oh my God.
That's what I recall.
So then, okay, now that you remember you were a child, so which primary schools did you go to? Or maybe you can tell us how you went to nursery, which primary schools?
I first went to a nursery school. It was both nursery and primary. It was called Martha Nursery and Primary School in our home district. But sadly, it's no longer existing. Then from that, my mom transferred me when I reached P2. I went to St. Nicholas in Jinja. I'm not sure if it's still there as well. Then in P4, primary, I moved a lot. In P4, my mom transferred me to Kisoro Nursery and Junior School in Bokoto. By the grace of God, it's still there. So that's where I finished my journey of primary to P7.
So how did you perform? Being a talkative child.
I was performing well because for nursery, I even skipped some classes of nursery because God helped me. I used to perform well in class, and they saw no need for me to study all the nurseries. Yet I could be pushed and progress to P1. So I was pushed to P1. Then after that, my mom transferred me in P2. They took me to boarding school. It was not a good experience.
Tell us, how was the experience of boarding? You know, at a young age, because now most parents actually want to be taking their children to boarding as early as P1. So you who has been there, like in P2, how was the experience?
The experience was not good, but in my head when we were young, they used to normally say, Kisoro, Kisoro. So in my head, I used to think, as a kid, I even recall the image I had of some house on a hill that people go to, or kids go to, and they're just having fun. So I kept on demanding my parents, I want to go to Kisoro. I want to go to Kisoro. And then they took me to school. But the first time my mom came to see me, I had lost so much weight and I looked so bad. And when I saw my parents, I just started crying. So up to now, I don't have a very good kind of relationship with boarding school. I don't like boarding school. Truthfully.
Interesting. So then after primary school, where did you go to?
After primary school, I went to a secondary school. It's called St. Matthias Kalemba, still in our home area. So that's the place I was at from Form 1 to Form 6. In Form 5, first term, I had left and gone to St. Noah Girls. But due to some factors, I had to come back home, close to home, and I went back to St. Kalemba still.
St. Kalemba's. So is that a mixed school?
Yes, it's a mixed school.
So how was it like? Because you being beautiful, you know, having this ambition of becoming a queen one day, how did you manage to go through the adolescence stage? Because you're beautiful, boys could maybe come and, you know, try to divert you from being at school, divert you from focusing on education. How did you handle that?
I think the first thing that my mom really put an emphasis on, she taught us God and the principles of God. So even of course, as a child, sometimes you want to err, but the principles still come back to you. And then the other factor that I always had this thing that I have more ahead of me, and I have a lot of people relying and depending on me. So you always have this fear of letting such people down. Because if it's only you can let yourself down, but if it's a lot of people involved, you always have the fear of letting so many people from your home.
Are you the firstborn?
No, I'm not. But I'm the first girl at home, and I'm very famous in our community. I'm so well known because of my parents. So a lot of people know me. and someone is going to meet you along the way. We expect better from you. We want you to study. You are a girl, and we know the problems that girls face in Uganda. We expect that you're going to be different. So those kinds of things always propelled you, that even the times when temptations came or things came to really pull you away, you had this fear of letting people down and shaming God.
And shaming yourself.
Yes, and shaming myself as well.
Okay, so then
Yes.
after second, okay, tell me now, Michelle, I know that you are talkative. You are talkative.
I'm no longer talkative.
I know now. You know when people are talkative when they are still young. Now when it reaches senior 3, senior 2, senior 3, they calm down. But after senior 4, now they have understood the culture of secondary school.
Yes.
So tell me now, being a talkative child, how was it like? Tell me one of the things that you did that you're like, okay, now I'm not proud of this. And then also you tell me something that you're proud of that you did when you're in HSC.
Or something that I'm not really proud of, genuinely, in my O-level, the way I performed, because I knew, and I also know it within me, be it HSC, that I did not perform to like the full capacity of what I could have done, because probably of like I wasn't as focused as much, the lack of focus and the lack of like too much ambition as well in that arena of life, because I know if like I went back right now, I would do like way better, because that is something like I didn't really do well, and I kind of regret because I dimmed my light in my own way. Then the other thing that I'm proud of course, I'm proud of like being able to finish school regardless of the many situations and things I went through that would have probably prevented me to finish school. I always told myself, even when COVID came and people are like, you just quit school and leave, I always told myself I have to graduate, and I have to graduate in time, the time that my parents expect me to graduate.
So now since you've talked about COVID, tell us your COVID experience, because you are the people who were affected during COVID time.
Yes.
I remember that during COVID, that's the time I think they brought a new curriculum of Senior 1. That was 2020. And then also university students had a lot of confusion. They had to start studying online. Others were planning to graduate that year. They couldn't graduate because they brought lockdown jetted in like for quite a long time. And then also people were bankrupt. Some people lost jobs. There was quite a lot that happened during COVID-19. So you as Michelle, tell us your experience, because what level were you then at university?
I recall during COVID I was in 3rd year, the first semester of university. That's when we went back. But interestingly, of course, regardless of the other factors that came with COVID, I think in my life it was like divinely, it's a break that I needed to restructure my life and to reconfigure how I need to handle my life. Because I recall I went back home. I was among the first people when the president told us to go home. I think I was among the first people to even go back home. I went home, and I thank God that I used that time alone and time away from the world for my growth, because I don't recall a time where I read more books that were of like importance and value than that time. That's the time I recall there's some book I really love because it changed my life. It's called The Power of Habit. I read a lot of books along that arena that changed my view of life and how I handle life. And then that very period, I used it to grow as a woman, because I started watching femininity content. How do I navigate life as a young woman, and how do I embrace this thing of being a woman and femininity? And the other interesting thing about COVID, because the 2020 COVID, my dad was contesting for town council mayor. So for me, it was like a really beautiful time, because we're always having like our home full and bustled, like to the brim with people, like day in, day out, every single time.
I know politics.
Yeah.
Breakfast, people are there.
Breakfast,
Lunch,
some people who just come to talk to my dad, who come to look for him, and I was like the person, because I'm the oldest girl at home. I used to like take care like of those people, invite them, like give them that kind of welcoming kind of environment, and it was really a beautiful time, because I learned a lot of things that I wouldn't have
What are
learned.
the 2 things that you learned that you can share with us here today?
The first thing I learned to embrace that people are a gift, because I think one of the reasons why I enjoyed that COVID time a lot is because I was given the opportunity to serve a lot of people, and the people that used to come into our home. And then the other thing I realized, as long as you're stepping into a place of leadership and a position of leadership, you have to like ignore and like put a blind eye to the weaknesses of people, because people do a lot of things and say a lot of things that are really heartbreaking. So if you don't have this heart to serve them regardless of probably how they'll treat you or the outcomes, you can lose heart and focus of the goal as to why you're entering into politics. So because people always look at the face of the politician, but they forget that behind that politician is a family man who is a father to these kids, who is a husband, and they can really say a lot of things that are hurtful because this is your dad they're talking about.
So what are those things that you admire, like, okay, now, because I know that you must have learned something from those during that time in terms of leadership. That's why probably you also said, no, when it comes to 2024, I should contest for to become one of the queens, or probably become the queen of Miss Tourism Buganda Kingdom.
Things I learned and the things I always stick to heart, and it's something I learned about my dad up to today, that when you enter into the business of leadership, you've gone to serve people. Like, it's not about any other motive. That has to be the first reason you go. Because, of course, people always expect, like, you're going to get this and this from leadership. But if you enter, like, leadership with that kind of heart, at one point you're going to quit. Because the downsides are sometimes overweighing the things that people think are the upsides of leadership. Then the other thing, as I had even said earlier, is to learn to, like, love people. Because regardless of the madness of the world or the weaknesses of people, people are gifts from God. So anytime you're going to encounter people, you always have to have that thing in mind. People are gifts from God.
I would also like you to take me through, like, you said COVID-19 you went. Did you go back to the real village of Bugerere, or you were staying in town? Tell us the experience.
My parents, like, our home is in Bugerere. It's in Kayunga, Nazigo Town Council. So interestingly, also my paternal grandmother is also in that very place. So that is where I went, because that is where our home is, and that's where our home has been. So I went back home
to the village.
To the village, yes.
With grandma.
Yeah, grandma stays somewhere else, but still in the same area, but that place, yes.
And how was the experience? You know, university level now. At university level, when people go back to, you know, to the village, they try to mimic a certain lifestyle which does not work in tandem with the one of the village. So were you that kind of, maybe you can tell us what was your experience? Because this was a long time.
Yes.
It was a long time of being at home.
Yes. I think something, even my friends up to now, people still engage me about it. People always know I love home a lot. Because if you get to know me, I always say I'm obsessed with God and addicted to my parents.
Interesting. So you are what? Obsessed by God?
I'm obsessed with God and addicted to my parents.
Oh my God, that's a nice one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I love my parents a lot. Me and some other older brother of mine, they knew us immediately the semester ended. My mom was sure we are going to show up at home. Because that is how much we loved home. Though right now he's in Bangladesh, so he doesn't get that privilege like I do. So I never found a problem like going back home, because home is like where like my family is, and I grew up in a way that I was so close to my parents and my mom, so I always love going back home. It's never like a downside, regardless of, it's probably not as good as probably town, but I love my home. And the other thing, because I've always grown up there, and my mom, even when we started from this side, used to always take us back for our holidays. I'm proud to say, and I'm privileged to say, that I'm loved by my village people. Because even the people of Buganda saw it, because they say Bugere was the one that organized the biggest kind of event.
I saw.
Yes. But all of those people came because they knew I was contesting and they wanted to support me. So I'm proud to say that my village people love me as well, as much as I love them.
So what was the most memorable thing you remember in the village during COVID-19?
The first one that came in my mind was, we used to work out with my dad every evening.
Because you said you love your parents so much.
Yeah, I love my parents so much. So during COVID, I had also, like, when I went back home, I had started trying to work out because I had gained a lot of weight before COVID. So in COVID period, my dad always works out because he loves staying fit and healthy. He's obsessed with, like, the healthy lifestyle. So I started, like, going to work out with him. And when we used to go to work out, he works out with some youth because he plays football. We used to go jog a bit. He jogs, and for me, I jog and then do some exercises, and then he plays football. But that kind of like community kind of setting we used to experience, because remember, a lot of people didn't have a lot of things to do. So they used to always come to the pitch.
Some had things to do. Others were drinking, others were making babies, others were jogging. So but not really constructive things. You know, it was something that had never happened before.
Yes, it was a different
so
experience.
you know, stopping you to go to work, like you had to stop your daily routine to start this completely new routine
thing you've never
for
seen.
about 7 months.
Yes.
You know?
So in the evening time, because people had like a lot of free time at hand, they used to come at the pitch. So sometimes these people are playing football, others are trying to play volleyball, others are playing netball, others are just sitting and passing time to like see people work out. So it was like a beautiful experience having people together, like all of you coming together, joined by something that you didn't see coming, but you're experiencing life together in a positive way. So it's one of the things I really recall about COVID. And of course the campaigns, the last day of campaign when my dad had one. I can't forget that one where we had to do a drive and then we make different stops and dance.
And dance, Maganda.
Any kind
Are you a
of
good dancer?
I'm okay.
You're still watching Super Soul Sisters. I am here with one of the queens of Miss Tourism Buganda Kingdom 2024. We'll be going for a break and we shall